Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Christina and today I'm going to be doing a Victoria's Secret model angel makeup tutorial. This is honestly a re-edit and a re-upload of a video that I did on my other channel. This channel is a lot newer and I wanted to just be more honest with myself, and I wanted to do things kind of with my full chest, for a lack of literally any other better way to say this. Also, my skin back then was so very much so acne back then, and now I feel like I'm getting rid of like a couple of the scars that were left behind. I also was wondering, or kind of thinking to myself, if I wanted to do like a separate channel just for the makeup videos, but I think in the end I'm gonna keep everything all on one channel because the algorithm, I feel like it just does whatever it wants, to be honest. Like, I've never really gotten into studying algorithms, but the one time that I did, it was like completely debunked. And it doesn't make any sense. Like, I don't know. But anyways, I'm using a very buildable foundation here, the L'Oreal Infallible, which is why you saw me put that layer of concealer under. Now we're putting on the foundation, and then after I blend everything out, which I'm using a very dense foundation brush for this, just to get the most coverage, kind of to finish out the full coverage look that we want for this. I go over everything, well, the spots that need it, with this right here, which is the Born This Way concealer. I did start out by just focusing on getting my skin to be very one note, very clear, but here I'm doing the brightening step. This concealer, I think, is just very close to being like actually white. Now I use something a little bit closer to my actual skin tone, but this did give me a very brightening effect, which worked out very well for this look. Here I'm going in with another Can Make product. This is like a marshmallowy type of pressed powder. It does give you a very like soft look, like smooths out your pores and everything like that. So this is kind of going to be our transition shade, but we're putting it in the inner brow bone as well. Even if you already have a shadow right here, we're putting this color here so that we can blend the other pink shade into it later. I also take this down my nose and use it to contour, but focusing it on the inner brow bone area and then the outer V. And then here I just darken that up just a little bit. So I'm doing my brows now. I wanted to wait so that I could really push that first shade into the front area of my brow. I don't know what anything is called, y'all, but okay, now I'm doing my actual brows. Keep them very nice, light, and fluffy. Keep them very natural, you know, follow your natural brow shape, everything like that. Nothing too crazy, no obvious like concealer lines. So yeah, this is what the inside of that palette looks like. All of those shades are getting used at some point, other than the purple shade. I'm pretty sure I did not touch the purples. Anyways, I'm going in with that pink, and instead of wiping it over my full lid, I'm gonna pack it in my outer V and then just blend it towards that other area, if that makes any sense. So we're just gonna connect those two areas by blending it, and that's going to help us get like a good ombre. Now I'm taking that like pink shimmery kind of like, I guess it's more of like a dusty rose kind of gray pink, and I'm just sweeping that over my entire lid, also making sure everything's very blended with this shade. Nothing too harsh. All of the lines that we do that look a little harsh get blended out in the end. And I'm also gonna take this same shade and sweep it on my lower lash line. I don't love the way that I guess putting a lot of eyeshadow on my lower lid space, I guess, looks, but if you do, then definitely put more. Now I'm going in with like a more champagne sort of shimmer, and it's gonna look like I'm cutting my crease. I really only did this so that I could make sure that I was going up, like covering the same amount of lid space on both eyes. And I'm also taking this on my brow bone. Later on, I go in and I highlight my nose and my cheekbones. This is the same shade being used. So you can kind of see on this side, I go up a little too high, and then I have to kind of go back and forth for a second, but I ended up figuring it out. And I don't actually show exactly where I blended out, but me going over it here where it looks like I'm bringing it a little up, it's really like a really, 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 oh really, yeah. No, you saw that. And then I put too much on this side, so I took a little bit away. Just, it gets even, it gets blended. It's very nice. I swear, y'all, this is why I don't do voiceovers. Like, it would be so much easier to just say it as I'm going. But we've committed to this. So, here, instead of using like a gel liner or a liquid liner, I'm just going in with a black, very pigmented eyeshadow. And kind of think Miranda Kerr when you go for this. And also, I forgot her name. So, I think it's McKenna Grace, where they have that very like, I don't mean to compare the two of them, just like their eye shapes and the way that makeup artists tend to do their makeup by keeping like a very droopy outer eye area. We're kind of recreating that by doing this very like thick wing at the end, not in the front, like not a very unbalanced wing basically. And also tight lining just to bring everything together. I always do this, so very optional to bring in the inner corner like that. I didn't have the exact lashes that I needed, so I just kind of messed up some lashes that I already had that were very thin so I could get them like a little fluffier. I started putting the lashes on normal, so get them on there, and then once it gets a little tacky, kind of flip. I'm so bad, I can't explain this, but you see me do it. I'm like pushing it. I'm pushing the lash in a way so that it's laying kind of flat, like you want them to be straight. I did really like the effect of this though, so I might do it again just when I'm going for like a droopier eye look. I don't really know, but it works for this. For the rest of the face, I kept it very, very simple. I just went in with my everyday bronzer and put on like, I did put on a good amount of it though. I think this is so this is where I was talking about me putting the same shimmer on, because I did not show any specifics with it at all, but I do know it was the same color. Just keeping it very light though, not anything like too intense at all. And again, just putting on a light amount of my everyday like pinky blush that, nothing too crazy. And I also blend this out. But it was very important to keep it low, like on the apples of the cheeks, instead of a lot higher up by the temples like I normally would. So with my lips, I just did basically a shade that was very similar to my natural lip shade. I just wanted them to look fuller and more plump, and I ended up going in with this lip pencil that's a very like pink shimmer, almost like a half shade too bright for my skin, but that ended up helping us get like a nude shimmer look. This is it. It's like this Fuji doll lip crayon situation, and that really helped me finish off the look. This is it though, guys, so thank you so much for watching and listening to me ramble, but I'll see you next time.